What's blocking you from finding love and how to clear the path? I have been a relationship writer and coach for over 15 years now. And in my career, I just see the same issues, the same patterns. And women come to me, and men, mostly women, some men, come to me because they're so frustrated and so defeated. They feel like they're doing everything right, and love is just so evasive. So I'm going to break it all down today. I'm going to address the most common reasons why people struggle so much, and I'm going to give you some action solution steps to deal with it. So when I started writing about relationships back when I was only 23, yeah, that's when I started, my goal was to understand men. I thought that if I could figure them out, if I could understand exactly why men act the way they do, then I would have the upper hand and I would never be blindsided again. I thought it would make me immune to rejection. I thought it would make me feel empowered. And my newly acquired knowledge, and I actually did write a book called 10 Things Every Woman Needs to Know About Men. I interviewed countless men. I mean, I really poured myself into this. When I decide to do something, like I go for it. So yeah, I wrote that book. When was that? It came out in 2015. Anyway, that helped me a lot in terms of understanding men, in terms of attracting guys, but I was not so great at keeping them. Eventually, and I wrote the book when I was engaged and I'd figured myself out. So this book was not written by like a clueless halfwit that I was when I was like 23. I think I wrote the book later on. Anyway, I had to face a very hard truth, which was simultaneously devastating and also freeing. And it's that the problem wasn't them. The problem was me. Specifically, it was my lack of self-worth. It was my unhealed wounds. It was my desperate need to be chosen, to be picked, even if I had to abandon myself in the process. And that is what blocked me from finding real, lasting love. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to go deep into the real reasons you're stuck in unfulfilling patterns and the steps you can take to break free. The first is that you don't actually believe it's possible for you. It's so interesting how we talk ourselves out of our own dreams. Like we'll identify what we want. It could be a relationship, a job, an opportunity. And we're like, oh, that's not really going to happen for me. It's one of the most damaging beliefs you can carry around with you, and that unfortunately most people do carry around with them, is it's just not in the cards for me. And you might not even realize that you're thinking that, but deep down it's there. It lives within you. Maybe if we're going to look at this in terms of relationships, maybe you've never had a serious relationship before, or maybe all the relationships you've had were painful and toxic, and your brain decided that love equals suffering. So now you protect yourself with resignation. You stop putting yourself out there, or you go on dates, but like you're only halfway there. You tell yourself you're trying, but really, you're already anticipating the worst. You're waiting for the proverbial other shoe to drop. Because here's the thing, okay? This is how your mind works. Your brain loves predictability. Your brain is not wired to make you happy. It is wired to keep you safe. And what is safer than predictability? We want to know what to expect. So even if it's painful, even if it's unfulfilling, you'll keep protecting yourself in that way because at least you know what to expect. At least you know, okay, if I have this expectation that nothing's going to work out for me, then nothing probably will work out for me, thus proving how I already feel. And there is a satisfaction in proving yourself right, even if you're proving something to yourself that you do not want to be true. You following? So here's the solution if that's your problem. You have to start interrupting the story. You have to stop treating your past as prophecy because your past has nothing to do with your future. I know that it doesn't feel that way. I know it feels, and this is why women in their 20s come to me panicking that they're going to end up alone. Yes, obviously they're still very young. There's so much time ahead. But the reason that feels so real is because all they've had are disasters. I mean, yeah, that's why me at 29, I was like, this is never going to happen for me because I was looking at my past and how everything would fall apart. I would be blindsided. I would not be attracted at all to the guys who were super emotionally available and would be wonderful to me. And I was only going after the damaged ones. And so I extrapolated, I took my past and projected it to my future and thought, this is all it's ever going to be, because for 10 years, I've been trying to get out of this cycle and I just can't. So the first practical step you can take here is, instead of saying, I've never had a good relationship, say, I've never had a good relationship yet. Yet is your friend. Incorporate the word yet anywhere you get a chance to, okay? Instead of, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at this yet. I'm never going to figure this out. I haven't figured this out yet, okay? Instead of saying love never works out for me, say it hasn't worked out yet. But that doesn't mean it never will, okay? I can't even tell you guys how many of my clients came to me. Well, first of all, there's two categories. The first category is they come to me because they've never had a relationship before, and they're like, well, I guess I'm just not someone that people want to be in a relationship with. The second category is women who are like, all I've had are toxic, broken relationships. But the ones who come to me and are like, I've never had a relationship, I swear, when that karma comes back at them, oh, it comes. Like, these girls end up in with the most incredible guys in their dream relationship. And you know what? Fine. That was the path they were meant to go on. Not everybody needs to have 100 relationships and get their heart broken in all kinds of ways. Like, that sucks. Maybe the universe, the God of your understanding, is protecting you by keeping you single for a certain amount of time until you find that right person, okay? Do you see what I did here? I rewrote the story and the narrative for you. This is a skill that I want you to gain for yourself, and I want you to be able to start doing this. Instead of seeing it as, this is how it's always been, so this is how it will always be. Instead, okay, this is how it's been. Eventually, the dots will all connect. Eventually, this will all make sense. And in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to trust that things are going to work out the way that they are meant to. That's it. Change starts with possibility. If you don't believe it's possible, then it will be impossible. If you can stretch your belief just enough to say maybe, you open the door to something radically different. Okay? Number 2. So the second reason a lot of people are struggling is that they do not know what to look for in a partner. We've been fed a fantasy that love should be instant and electric and all-consuming, that when you meet the right one, you just know. But sometimes what you just know is actually your nervous system recognizing an old wound. It is not chemistry, it is familiarity. Remember, your brain and your nervous system loves the familiar. That is why you might feel drawn to emotionally unavailable people. It's actually the most common reason. It's because there is something within that is familiar. Maybe you had a parent who was emotionally unavailable. Maybe you felt very emotionally neglected when you were growing up. This is also why when someone is kind and consistent and open and emotionally available, it can feel boring, because your body associates chaos with love and lack of chaos with, oh, this must be boring, and I don't want to settle for a life of no passion and no chemistry. You have to realize that who you choose is the most important decision you will ever make in your life. You must choose wisely. Okay, I can't even stress this enough, and I have another episode all about what to look for in a partner that actually matters. So what's the solution here? The solution is you need a new framework, one that isn't based on butterflies or obsession or proving your worth. Instead, ask yourself, what are my values? What do I need to feel emotionally safe? Because I guarantee you the emotionally damaged guy is not giving it to you. What kind of love feels peaceful? Okay? Create a list of green flags, traits like emotional availability, accountability, kindness, willingness to grow. That's probably the most important of all. And train yourself to value those things, not the guy who is flaky and hot and cold. Yeah, I know it's exciting. I know it feels like you're living in your own telenovela, but that is not a sustainable way to live your life. That is emotionally exhausting. If your picker is broken, you don't fix it by going with your gut. Well, it's not even usually your gut. It's usually just your trauma. You fix it by retraining your nervous system to desire what is actually good for you. Number 3, you are crippled by fear. This one is so common. We're not even aware of all the ways we are so afraid. Because here's the thing, you can want something very badly. You can want love. You can want to find your partner, find your person, but at the same time be terrified of getting hurt. And a lot of the time, that fear of getting hurt overrides the desire. And that's why we don't understand it. We're like, no, I want love, but I'm sabotaging myself. I'm making bad choices. I'm still obsessed over this guy that treated me like absolute crap. That is because it's your fear at play. It could be fear of ending up alone. It could be fear of getting rejected, fear of being hurt again. So you stay in things longer than you should. You lower your standards. You say yes when everything in your body is screaming no. So what's the solution to this one? You have to recognize that fear-based decisions don't usually lead to the outcomes you want. Honestly, I would say that any decision made from a place of fear is the wrong decision. So if your biggest fear is ending up alone forever, let me offer you this reframe. Being alone is not the worst thing. Abandoning yourself in order to avoid it is. Ask yourself, if I fully trusted that love was coming, what decision would I make today? How would I show up? Most of the time, clarity isn't about knowing what to do. It's about removing the fear that's clouding the answer. Number 4, you are still haunted by the past. The ghosts of your past aren't just memories. They live in your nervous system, especially if you haven't processed the pain and the trauma in a healthy way. So maybe it was your emotionally unavailable dad. Maybe it was your first love who broke you, who shattered you. Maybe it was being bullied in middle school, or the rejection that still lingers from somebody that you barely dated, someone you had a situationship with. These experiences shape your core beliefs about love, about safety, about your worth. And most of the time, these things get wired in and we don't challenge them. And so they become a part of us and we carry it into our present day. It informs who we choose, who we're drawn to, who we're repelled by, who gives us the ick. It's all shaped by these past experiences. So you have to look them in the face and deal with them and deal with the aftermath. And it might seem so silly sometimes. Like, okay, so my middle school crush, said I was ugly or stupid or whatever it was. Like, how could that still bother me? I'm a successful grown-ass woman. Well, it could still live in you. These things do still live within us. These pains, these hurts, because we internalize stories about ourselves when situations like this happen. And it shapes how we feel about ourselves. And unless you ever actively push back against that story you created about yourself, it still lives there. And that's why so many of us are just so confused by ourselves. We're like, how can I be this, but also that? It's because we all have that wounded inner child that is still within us. A lot of us disown her. We feel ashamed of her. She's there and she needs to be dealt with. So here's the solution. You have to go back, not to stay there, but to reclaim the version of you that got stuck. So ask yourself, what is the earliest memory I have of feeling unloved or rejected? What did I make it mean about me? And is that belief still true? Inner child work, shadow work, trauma healing, these aren't just buzzwords. I know they've become very buzzy on social media, but they are the foundation of a love that lasts. Because until you heal your past, you'll keep dragging it into the present. And even if you do find love and you find a relationship, it's just going to cause problems in that relationship. This isn't just about you guys finding your person. It is about having a happy, meaningful, fulfilling relationship. We don't want to just end up in something toxic. We want something wonderful and healing and peaceful and aligned. Number 5, you're subconsciously attracted to pain. I know this sounds dramatic, but it's real. You're not unlucky in love. You are just loyal to your patterns. Write that down. And those patterns are shaped by your early conditioning. If you had to earn love, to fix people, to walk on eggshells, or fight to be seen, then guess what feels familiar now? Can you guess? It's someone emotionally unavailable. Someone who makes you feel like you have to prove your worth. Someone you can fix. Okay? So the solution, you have to pause before you pursue or before you latch on. You have to ask yourself, what about this person feels exciting? Is it calm or is it adrenaline? Calm isn't boring, it's safe. The work is in retraining your system to crave safety as opposed to chaos. Number 6, you are your own worst enemy, because unfortunately so many of us are. I know I was for a very long time. You want love, but you don't believe you're good enough to receive it. So you self-sabotage. You ghost people who are actually kind. You obsess over people who barely show up. You chase, you overthink, you abandon your needs just to be chosen. And underneath it all is a voice whispering, you're not enough. Love never works out for you. Why do you even bother? So what's the solution here? You have to confront that inner critic. You can't wait for someone else to prove that you're lovable. That doesn't work. The work starts with you. It comes from within. I know you guys know this. It's not about lack of knowledge. It's about the drive and motivation to implement. Practice self-validation. Talk to yourself like someone you love. And stop confusing self-worth with perfection. You don't have to be healed to be loved. You just have to be willing to show up for yourself. There is no such thing as being fully healed. I feel like I need to start telling more of my story because I tend to stop at like the point of like, yes, I got married and we've been married for 10 years and we have 4 kids and everybody thinks, oh, your life is perfect. No, it's not. You think that I'm not actively still working on myself every day. It's gotten much easier. I mean, my issues are not taking over my life in the way that they once did, but the healing never ends. So there is no such thing as a finished product here. But the point is, you have to be your own biggest advocate here. You can't be the one who's ripping yourself apart and then wonder why nothing in life is ever working out for you. It's because people, the world around you, it's a big mirror for the way that you feel about yourself and the way you treat yourself. So remember that. Number 7, you're waiting instead of creating. We've been spoon-fed this idea that love just happens. You'll meet the right person when you're not looking. When it's meant to be, it'll be. But the truth is that kind of thinking can keep you stuck in passivity. It just tells you to wait instead of create. And you do need to put effort into your love life. That does not mean overgiving and overperforming in any of those things, but it does mean sometimes you have to step outside of your comfort zone just a bit. It means you need to push yourself just a little bit to find that right person for you. You can't just say, oh, what will be, because that's just kind of a way to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself in what feels familiar. So what's the solution? You have to know that love isn't something that randomly finds you. I mean, sometimes that can happen, but more often it finds you when you actively prepare for it. So you have to do the work. You have to become the version of you who chooses better, makes better choices. You have to clear space in your life. You have to set higher standards. You have to learn how to receive. Create a life for yourself that is so rich and so full that love becomes the icing, not the entire cake. It is the cherry on top. And that's what manifestation really is. It's not wishful thinking. It's energetic alignment with what you want and creating a vessel to receive it. Okay? So if you want real love, you have to stop chasing people who make you question your worth. You have to start building the kind of life and mindset that naturally attracts aligned love. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be chosen. You need to choose yourself. And when you do, that is when things just work out. And you're going to have to trust me and my 15 years of experience and all the things I've seen and stories. And I share them all on my Instagram. I have a whole testimonial highlight. And if you are ready to really do this work, I would love to do it with you. I am launching a course. It starts July 9th, which is next week. So actually when this episode aired, it will be 1 week from today, from the date this episode is airing. We are working on self-worth. We are working on overcoming all these blockages that I mentioned in this episode. They can be undone with the right tools. So we're going to be live every week and I will be working with you every step of the way on this. And I love getting to meet you guys and getting to know you on a deeper level. We also have a group chat. I will be providing weekly challenges, homework. I will be answering any questions that come up for you and really helping you achieve your goals. I want you to experience the magic of transformation, truly. Because it is unbelievable how quickly your life can turn around once you do that inner work, once you get into your subconscious and clear some of those blockages out of there, things can shift so dramatically. So if you are ready, I'll include the link below, but go to sabrinabendori.com, go to courses, Summer of You, and I would love to help you get there. Also, this course is automatically available for anyone who's in my inner circle. That is my membership platform. It's $36 a month. So you will have access to this course and all of my other courses. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Sabrina@SabrinaBensRight.com. I hope this episode was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment on Spotify or on YouTube. And please share this episode with your friends, anyone who needs to hear it. And also don't forget to review. We are still a pretty new podcast. We're only a few months old, and every review really helps. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.